My name's Annie Aggins. I'm Director of Polar Expeditions for PolarExplorers. The temperature is getting a little bit cool out, and we're getting really excited for our upcoming North Pole expeditions. I've been getting a lot of questions about how you can train for your expedition, so I'm going to show you a couple of tips that you can use to help train for your upcoming North Pole expedition. So I'm wearing a harness that you might typically use when you're pulling a sled in the polar regions. You can see it's got a padded waist belt, it's got shoulder straps that go up and over, and I've got two carabiners that clip me to my traces. These traces then go back to the sled. These can be pretty specialized pieces of gear, and not everybody has one, which is a good thing because you don't need an actual harness for training. There are a lot simpler techniques you can use. So there are a few things that I'm going to want to have in order to do my training today. The first is some way to hook myself up to my load, the thing I'm pulling. And one of the easiest things is just a day pack. So here's a simple day pack, two shoulder straps and a waist belt. And I'm going to use that. If you don't have a day pack, you could always use a fanny pack or just a waist belt even. And that's right here. You can use this, and I'll show you that in a little bit. A couple other things I have. I've got two carabiners, which make clipping in really easy. Not absolutely required, but they are handy. And then I've got about 12 feet of just a simple piece of rope. Don't forget your water bottle so that you can stay hydrated when you're out there sweating, getting ready for your expedition. And the last thing I have are a couple of ski or trekking poles. Again, these aren't necessary, but they're pretty helpful, and it helps you get used to what you're going to be doing out there. The last thing I need is something to actually pull around. Now, out in the polar regions, we're going to be using sleds, and they're going to be packed with gear. Sometimes 50, 60 kilos, sometimes 100 kilos or more. But here, I can use a lot of different things. My weight of choice is an old tire. So you can see here I've got an old tire. Just went to the junkyard and got it there. They gave it to me. And what I've done is I've actually drilled a hole in the tire, and I put in this little metal rung. And I just clip a meter to that. You don't have to do this. You could just put a piece of chain around it and use that. You could also just put a piece of rope around it. If you've never pulled anything heavy and you're just starting off with your training, one tire is a great way to start. But as you build up your endurance, you're going to want to move to a little bit of a heavier load. In this case, I can put two tires together really easily. If you don't live near a junkyard and you don't have any access to old used tires, you can use anything that's heavy that you can drag. Here I've just taken a cinder block and I've tied a rope around it, and I'm going to drag that. And when it's not enough weight, I'm just going to add a second and third and fourth cinder block to my pile. Other ideas? You can take a laundry basket and fill it with dog food. We've had people buy children's sleds and then go down to a beach or a sandy park and fill the sled with sand. There's lots of different options, and there's nothing that can't work. Okay, so I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to use my day pack as something to pull, as my harness, my temporary harness. So I just put that on. It's helpful to have a day pack with a waist strap. And if you're doing some heavy pulling, it's also helpful to have a sternum strap. I've got my traces that go back to my load, and I'm just going to attach them right at the bottom of my shoulder straps. One there. One there. And I'm ready to go. consider pulling on grass or sand or on a forest floor. Thanks for joining us on our little video adventure and learning how to train for your polar expedition. We look forward to seeing you soon, and take care.